watched the previous video for class 12 Human Health and Disease chapter 8. There I have discussed about the infectious diseases and the introductory part. Today's video is about AIDS and cancer, the two most deadly diseases. So watch it. So my dear children, here I am with a new topic for you, class 12, AIDS. Now this is the part of the chapter 8 Human Health and Disease. Now I am going to discuss here two topics about AIDS and cancer. Now first topic is AIDS. Now what do you mean by AIDS? AIDS is the abbreviation for the disease known as acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. So acquired immunodeficiency syndrome is AIDS. Now this is actually a disease which is caused by a virus known as HIV. Now what is HIV and what is the nature of HIV? HIV means human immunodeficiency virus. So it is a deficiency virus. What type of deficiency is caused in our body? And why do we call AIDS a syndrome? Now what do you mean by syndrome? Actually you see, during this AIDS, what happens that I am going to tell you, that I will explain why do we call it syndrome. Now as you see, first let us discuss about the first case when AIDS was reported. Now AIDS was first reported in USA in 1981. Now it was reported that it is caused by a group of retrovirus. Okay, now the actual type of virus that causes AIDS, that is HIV, is a group of lentivirus. Lentivirus is a type of retrovirus. Now what is retrovirus? Retrovirus means here in this group of virus they have RNA as a genome or genetic material that is enclosed in an envelope. Okay, and this type of virus can undergo reverse transcription. Now what is reverse transcription? Reverse transcription is the process by which the virus converts its RNA, that is HIV RNA. In this case the HIV has the RNA as the genome. So this HIV RNA can be converted to HIV DNA when it enters a CD4 cell. Now what is a CD4 cell? CD4 cell is the WBC cell which plays an important role in our immune system. So when a HIV virus enters our WBC or CD4 cell, then it damages our immune system by reverse transcription. It undergoes reverse transcription and converts its own RNA into DNA. Okay. Now I was telling you in the beginning that why it is called syndrome. Now as I told you, when it affects our immune system, our immune cells, WBC or immune cells, get damaged. And because of this damage of the immune cells, our body cannot fight against any type of pathogenic diseases. And as a result, our body accumulates lot of symptoms. Okay, and that's why it is called a syndrome. I hope you got my point now. Next topic about the HIV is, how is this HIV transmitted? How it transmits from an infected person to a healthy person. Now let us discuss that. Now ways of transmission. Now you see, it can be transmitted by the sexual contact of an healthy person with an infected person. Okay, so sexual contact with an infected person, by sharing the injection needles. Which type of people share the injection needles? I hope you understood, the drug abusers. So they actually undergo intravenous injections of the drugs. Next come transfusion of contaminated blood and blood products. So when a person is transfused with contaminated blood and blood products means RBC, plasma, any of the content of the blood which are transfused to the person, and from the mother to her child through placenta. So these are the ways of transmission of this HIV from an infected person to a healthy person. Okay, next part is which people are the high risk people, in which people are at a risk of getting AIDS. So the next part is high risk individuals. Which people are at high risk of getting infected by HIV virus? Now, first is the people who have multiple sex partners. Second, drug addicted people, those who generally take intravenous drugs. Third is individuals who need regular or repeated blood transfusion, like the people with sickle cell anemia or thalassemia or having blood cancer. This type of people may often need blood transfusion. So these people are at a risk of HIV infections repeatedly. And the fourth is the children who are born with HIV infected mother. So these are the high risk individuals who has maximum risk of getting the diseases. Now next move on to the next part of the AIDS topic, that is the life cycle of HIV, which is very, very important. Now let me discuss in detail. Now this life cycle, I have divided it into 7 heads. You can see I have written 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Now let me discuss each part step by step. Now what exactly happened? Now you see, this is a HIV virus. Now inside you can see a red color strand I have drawn, that is the viral RNA. Now this is a single stranded viral RNA. The virus is having a lipid rich layer. You can see the green structure here on the surface of the lipid rich layer, protein coated layer, which are the receptors molecule. Now the virus has receptor molecules. These receptor molecule get bound to the cell membrane of our WBC cells. Now this is the entire animal cell, which is rectangular in shape that I have drawn here. This is an animal cell, our WBC cell. Now here you can see this receptor molecule here on the WBC cell is bound to the receptor of the viral receptor. Now this virus HIV is having various type of protein. Along with that, it has a receptor molecule on its surface, has viral protein coat and lipid rich layer outside. Now you see, this virus recognize, the first step is the virus recognizes an WBC cell. So when the virus recognizes the WBC cell of human body, it comes closer, and the second point is it bind to the protein receptor. Now the receptor is generally CD4 receptor or CCR4 receptor. So these are the receptors present in our WBC cell membrane. So the virus infects the normal cell by binding the receptor of the virus with the WBC receptor. So this is the lipid rich layer of the virus having receptor molecule, which is green in color I have drawn. Now it, after binding the receptor, it incorporates its single stranded mRNA, protein, and the total viral genome is incorporated in the animal cell inside the cytoplasm. So this is the cytoplasm. You see, this is the nucleus, this is the cytoplasm. So once it incorporates its entire genomic material and the proteins inside, so it undergo reverse transcription because it has enzyme which is very unique called reverse transcriptase. So that reverse transcriptase enzyme carry on reverse transcription, by which the single stranded viral RNA undergoes reverse transcription and forms viral DNA in the cytoplasm of the host cell, that is our WBC cell. Now once the double-stranded viral DNA is produced, it gets incorporated in the human nucleus. In the nucleus you can see I have drawn this, the DNA of the virus. Now this viral DNA produces mRNA and thereafter the protein by using the human ribosome. The human ribosome present in our nucleus, that regulates this process. So the step 5 here, the viral mRNA is synthesized from the double-stranded DNA of the virus that incorporates into our nucleus of the human cell. Then it forms the protein thereafter using the ribosome of our system, and it comes out of the nucleus. So new viral RNA is produced, thereafter produces the protein, and in the step 6 you see the new viruses are produced. Now these new viruses come across the cell membrane of the infected cell of the animal, and it pushes the cell outward. As the virus pushes the cell outward, it comes out along with the cell membrane, and it's get ready to infect the other cell of our system. So this is the total life cycle of the AIDS virus or the HIV virus. Let me recapitulate once more. Now what I told you is that the total life cycle of virus HIV is divided into 7 heads. First, I told you the virus recognizes the cell membrane of the animal cell. There is the WBC, binds to the receptor molecule of the cell membrane of the animal cell. Generally the receptor are CD4 and CCR4, and the virus again have their own receptor molecules on the membrane of the lipid rich layer that enters the cytoplasm of the WBC cells of the human, and the viral DNA is produced by the viral RNA by reverse transcription process by the help of the proteinaceous enzyme called reverse transcriptase. It enters the human genome. Viral DNA incorporates in the nucleus of the human of that animal cell or the WBC, and then thereafter undergo transcription and translation, thereby produces viral mRNA and protein. New viruses are formed, and that pushes the cell membrane outward and comes out of the cell of the human body. So this is the entire process of the infection of the HIV in human body. So our system totally get incorporated with this virus, HIV virus, and new viruses are thereafter formed in the whole system. Next come the next topic of the AIDS is the preventive measures. Now you always know that prevention is better than cure. So better to get prevented from various type of diseases. First preventive measure, making the blood safe from HIV in blood banks, so that none of the person, those who are having case history of any type of bloodborne disease, they have to take blood transfusion, they may get safe blood. Second is controlling the drug abuse among young people and children, so that intravenous injection of the drugs cannot be done and the people become safe from HIV infection. Third is free distribution of condoms to the people. Next, advocating safe sex and promoting regular health checkup. And last is ensuring the use of only one disposable needles and syringe. That is obviously done in our hospitals and health centers. Okay, so these are the entire topic about the HIV AIDS. So I hope you understood the topic of the preventive measures, the high risk individuals, the life cycle of HIV, and before I told you about the people, those who are at high risk, and the what is exactly HIV mean. So these are about HIV. So go through it. The next topic is cancer. So today's next topic is cancer. You see, what do you mean by cancer? Cancer is actually the term that defines the uncontrolled proliferation of cells without differentiation. So this is cancer. Now what are the various characteristics of cancer cells? Cancer cells shows uncontrolled cell division. So the cells repeatedly divide without any controlled cell division. So it is uncontrolled cell division. Second is the cells or cancer cells do not require any extracellular growth factor. Now what do you mean by extracellular growth factor? Now it is a protein generally that stimulate the cell growth and differentiation of the cell by binding to its receptor. So it is a protein, on its receptor the cell bind, that gets stimulated for growth and differentiation. That does not take place in this cancer cell. So they do not require any extracellular growth factor. Third is they loses the property of contact inhibition. So what do you mean by contact inhibition? Contact inhibition means is the arresting of the cell growth when the cell comes in contact with each other. Means one cell when come in contact with the other cell, they inhibit the growth or arrest the cell growth. So in this case the cancer cell loses this property of contact inhibition and they keep on growing. Fourth point is due to the repeated cell division it forms a tumor. Okay, now you see the cells which pass out from this tumor and they find a new site, they again form a new tumor. So secondary tumors are found or formed which may be away from the site of the primary tumor. So this is the fifth feature of the cancer cells. Now the last is the metastasis. Now what do you mean by metastasis? Now in this case you see the invasion of the cancer cell takes place from one part of the body to the other part by body fluid. So this is metastasis. So metastasis is the development of the secondary malignant growth at a distance far away from the primary site of the tumor development. So these are the various type of characteristic features of the cancer cells. So the next topic is what are the types of tumor that generally grow. Tumors can be classified into two types. One is malignant, another is benign. Now what do you mean by malignant? Malignant means virulent, which is very effective and it may lead to death. And benign means the benign tumor are generally not that effective, it does not cause any life-threatening condition, but if it is pressed, it presses the blood vessel or grows in very much size, then it may be at a risk. But otherwise benign tumor actually do not show metastasis. Okay, so this is actually the main key features. Now let me discuss about the differences of the benign tumor and the malignant tumor. So I hope you understood the characteristics of the cancer cell. Now let me discuss about the different type of differences between the two cells, two type of tumors. Now first is benign tumor. Benign tumor and here malignant tumor. Let me tell you the differences. Now first is in case of benign tumor, it is a non-cancerous tumor, non-cancerous. So it is a cancerous tumor. Okay. Second is the second point, benign tumor does not show metastasis. So I told you already, it does not show no metastasis. So here no metastasis in benign tumor. Here the malignant tumor shows metastasis. Third is the benign tumor stop the growth after reaching a certain size. So stops growing after reaching a certain size. Right? So it stops growing after reaching certain size, but it does not take place in case of malignant tumor. It grows indefinitely. Indefinite growth. It shows indefinite growth. Okay. Fourth point for the benign tumor is this is less fatal, less life risking. Okay, but here it is more fatal to the body. Okay, now you see there is one interesting point about these two tumor. In benign tumor, the cells do not adhere much, so there is actually limited adherence among the cell. Okay, limited adherence among the cell. Limited adherence amongst the cell. Here no adherence at all. No adherence. Okay, so they tend to slip past from each other. So these are the differences. So benign tumor, they are non-cancerous tumor, and malignant or cancerous tumor. Benign tumor do not show any metastasis. Malignant tumor shows metastasis, that I just explained you what is metastasis. Now benign tumor stops growth after reaching a certain size, but here you see the malignant tumor grows indefinitely. Here benign tumor is less fatal, malignant tumor is more fatal. And in benign tumor, limited adherence is seen among the cells, but here in malignant tumor, the cells have no adherence at all. They slip past from each other. So I hope you understood this part. The next part of this cancer is we will read about the causes of cancer. You see, before going to the causes of cancer, let me tell you something, that is oncogene. Okay, now what is oncogene? Now you see, normally there are oncogenic virus that have cancer causing virus oncogene. So virus oncogenic virus. So oncogenic virus, they have cancer causing viral oncogenes. So these viruses have cancer causing viral oncogene. So these viruses have viral oncogene. They have a gene called viral oncogene. Okay. Now normal cells have genes called cellular oncogene. So in our system we have cellular oncogene. Normally we have cellular oncogene, or you can write, okay. So this can be also known as proto-oncogene. So generally, normally our cell contains cellular oncogene or proto-oncogene, which are present in inactivated state. So these cellular oncogene or proto-oncogene are present in our cells, in our body as inactivated form. Okay. Now under certain conditions like mutation or due to cancer causing oncogene, these get mutated and start causing cancer. So this is about oncogene. Understood? So now normally we have cellular oncogene that can cause cancer. So the next part is causes of cancer. Just I told you, cancer may be caused due to some agents called carcinogens. So cancer causing agents are called carcinogens. Carcinogens, these are cancer causing agents. Now these carcinogens can be of following types. What are the types? They can be chemical in nature. Okay, chemical like aniline dyes, or they are benzopyrene, or the smoke of the cigarette. They are chemicals that causes cancer. Okay. Next come physical causes. Physical causes include ionization radiation like X-ray, gamma ray, non-ionizing radiation like UV ray. This can also cause cancer. So physical cause are ionization radiation or non-ionizing radiation. Next is third is biological cause. It can be oncogenic virus that I just told you, or maybe some parasites that may cause cancer. Next, let's have a look on the types of cancer. Types of cancer. Now, cancer can be carcinoma. I am discussing whatever is in your syllabus class 12, not beyond that. Carcinoma. It is the cancer of the skin, that is the epithelial tissue. Okay, so epithelial tissue is present in our skin. So carcinoma is the type of cancer caused in our skin. Next come melanoma. Melanoma. Melanoma is the cancer of melanocyte cells of the skin. Melanocyte cells of the skin. Melanocyte cells of the skin. That is melanoma. Third is sarcoma. Sarcoma. Sarcoma is a cancer of mesodermal tissue. Mesodermal tissue get affected by cancer or carcinogen. And last is, that is lymphoma, or lymphoma, which is also known as leukemia. It is the cancer of the blood cells or hemopoietic cell. So blood cancer, whatever you tell. So blood cells, it infects the blood cells. So these are the general type of cancer. There may be various type of cancer in the various organs like lungs, okay, urinary tract, in the breast. So many type of cancers are there. Next topic is how to detect cancer. So I hope you understood the types of cancer as in your syllabus. Carcinoma, skin cancer. Melanoma, melanocytes of skin are affected by cancer cells. Sarcoma, mesodermal tissues are affected. And last is lymphoma, that is blood cells are affected. So this can spread to various organs. Next come the detection of cancer. How can we detect cancer? Detection. Detection of cancer can be done by various ways. Number 1, blood and bone marrow test. Blood and bone marrow test. Okay, these are done for increased cell count in the case of leukemia. Suppose in the blood cancer the number of cells WBC increase, that can be counted. So this is the count of the increased count of the blood cells in case of leukemia. Next is histopathological study or biopsy, that we commonly say. Biopsy, which is also known as histopathological study. Here what is done? A piece of tissue, suspected tissue, is taken from the organ. A section is taken from the tissue of an organ, and it is stained and examined under microscope by a pathologist, and he detects the presence of any type of suspicious nature of the cell. Okay. Third is the radiography. So I hope you understood the biopsy. Radiography. Radiography is X-rays are used to detect cancer of internal organ. So X-ray are used to detect the cancer in internal organ. So next is computed tomography. Now what is computed tomography? Here it uses the X-ray to generate a 3D structure or three-dimensional image. In computed tomography, a three-dimensional image is generated, okay, of the internal organ or the internal object. So here the three-dimensionally the CT scan, whatever we say, that is the computed tomography. Next come the resonance imaging. What is resonance imaging? Here non-ionizing radiation and strong magnetic field are used in the MRI to accurately detect the pathological and physiological changes in the living tissue. So what is resonance imaging? Here the non-ionization radiation or non-ionizing radiation is used, okay, and strong magnetic field are used in the MRI to accurately detect the pathological condition of the cells or the body tissues. Next is monoclonal antibodies. Monoclonal antibodies. Now, what is monoclonal antibodies? These are the antibodies which are given against cancer specific antigen and are also used to detect the certain type of cancer. So that is monoclonal antibody. Monoclonal antibody is the type of antibodies against cancer specific antigens which are used to detect the certain type of cancer. So these are the various type of detection process of cancer. First is blood and bone marrow test. Second is biopsy. Third is radiography, x-ray. Next, computer tomography, resonance imaging, and monoclonal antibodies. So go through all these parts and their ways how they are done. So we have come to the end of this topic cancer and the end of this video, that is the cancer treatment. Now cancer treatment. How can you see people, we often hear many people around us are affected by cancer, isn't it? So how can these patients be treated? So cancer treatment can be done by some common approaches, like first is surgery. Now surgery can be done in the tumor cells which are developed in the various part or various organ of our body, that can be removed with the help of surgery to check the spread of the cancerous cell thereafter in the other part of the body. So surgery is the removal of the cancerous tumor. Second is the radiation therapy. Now what is radiation therapy? In this therapy, see, a lethal irradiation of tumor cells is done. So taking proper care of the normal tissues surrounding the tumor cell. That means radiation is given to the tumor which is cancerous, keeping in very much of precautions that the normal cells do not get the radiation. It's a very difficult work, radiation therapy. Third is chemotherapy. You have often heard about chemotherapy from cancer patients who are given. Now cancerous cells are killed by several types of chemotherapeutic drugs. So these drugs actually exhibit the side effect like hair loss or maybe anemia. So chemotherapy is chemical therapy, that is chemotherapeutic drugs are given. And last is immunotherapy. Immunotherapy is a method of biological modifier like alpha interferon, which are used that activate the immune system and help to destroy the tumor. This type of therapeutic drugs are also given. So these are the various type of therapy given for a cancer patient. Now see, cancer is not a small topic that we can complete in 10 minutes or 5 minutes. It is a broad way to know about cancer. There are various type of cancers. A lot of researchers are going everywhere around about cancer. So you see, we have come across the end of the video. That is, I have taught you about the AIDS, the causes of AIDS, the preventive measures, who are the high risk people, the life cycle of the HIV virus, and we have talked about the cancer, the types of tumor, benign and malignant, causes of cancer, types of cancer, and cancer detection and cancer treatment. So I hope you understood the topic. Take care. So students, hope you understood the two topics of AIDS and cancer. So go through the topic. The upcoming video, I will tell you about drug and alcohol abuse. So keep watching my video. Thank you.